What is good, YouTube? This your boy Aaron.
Finally, Aaron F. Bryan has returned to the Courtside View Podcast NFL channel. It has been a long 40 days and 40 nights. It actually might have been 40 days and 40 nights, honestly. But we are back to talk NFL. We're going to start off with the NFC South. We're going to go through all the divisions. We're going to give our analysis. We're going to get breakdowns. We're looking at the rosters. We're looking at what they could be, how we're going to predict their performance for the 2025 season. Training camp is around the corner. We are back, baby. We are back. My favorite time of the year is upon us. We still got some more work to do. So let's. I'm gonna throw it back to. That was about to be crazy. I'm gonna let Aaron finish intro and what we about to do here. Throw it back is crazy.
Yeah, so we talking about the NFC South division, and we're gonna start off with the Falcons real quick. The Falcons have made. Well, I said the Falcons, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We already off to a rough start as it is. Depth chart. So far, they're done with OTAs. I believe they're still working on mini camps right now, or they're about to be done with mini camp. I could be wrong. I could always be wrong. I'm wrong so many times. But here's the depth chart as of this moment on our lads. They have obviously Mike Evans. They have Chris Godwin. He's coming back from injury, but it seems like he's gonna still be there. They project Emeka Egbuka as the slot receiver, and Jalen McMillan, he's going to be the backup to Chris Godwin when he comes back. You have Tristan Wirth, you have Ben Bretson. He was a free agent, I think he was. They got him in free agency. Graham Barton, and they have a bunch of other guys on the offensive line. Cade Otton, Baker Mayfield, obviously, Bucky Irvin. I can't wait to see what he's going to look like in year 2 in this offense. Well, now they have a new offensive coordinator. That's interesting. Yeah. Wonder who is the offensive coordinator. I need to check that out.
The offensive coordinator is Josh Grizzard. It's at the bottom. You can see like the coaching staff when you scroll down to the bottom.
Okay. Josh Gizzard. Who is Josh Gizzard? Grizzard. Never heard of him before. Anywho, defense. Logan Hall, Vita Vea, guy I never heard of. Hassan Reddick, another free agent acquisition. Levante David's still there. His old ass. He's still holding on through. He is still there. We got another guy, some other guys. You probably know all these people. Antoine Winfield, I know who he is. Jamel Dean, I know who he is. Yeah. You probably know all these other guys. I never heard of them. Deion Jones.
Yeah, Deion Jones from the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's still in the league.
I know. I know Tyke Smith, you know. I know some of the Yaya Diaby, all these guys.
Okay, so yeah, how do you feel about the defense? Let's go to the defensive side real quick, because they went Emeka Egbuka in the first round, but they need defense.
Honestly, they got some dudes that I like on this defense. I'm gonna be honest. I like Vita Vea, obviously. Kalijah Kancey had flashes in that game against the Commanders, where he nearly hawked Jaden Daniels down, but Jaden Daniels so great he end up making a play. And I think they got a touchdown on that one. Obviously Antoine Winfield Jr. is a baller. Jamel Dean is a very solid cornerback in this league. And also I like some of the draft picks they made on D, like Benjamin Morrison. He's a good cornerback. I think he was from Notre Dame, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Notre Dame corner. So solid defense roster. It's not like a bunch of they're not star-studded, because Levante David is getting up there in age, but he's still playing good football. But they still have enough. Like Zion McCollum is another bright spot in that secondary. He has some good potential. I like the defense. It's just the fact that I think the defense is solid enough. I mean, it's not like outstanding or anything, but they got some dudes, and if they get a little more development for those young guys, they can make some plays. So I give the defense a solid 6.5 out of 10.
What about their defensive line? Do you like their defensive line, especially the interior?
Obviously, love Vita Vea and Kalaji Kensi duo. You got that bona fide one tech that's going to clog up and play the run very well. You got Kalaji Kensi who can play inside and he can play a little bit on the edge as well. That's a good 3 tech. He's going to rush the passer. He's their like primary pass rusher in my opinion. They get Hassan Reddick. Who knows? After not being really well, he did end up playing last year towards the end of the year. I want to say. But Hassan Reddick, last time we seen him in full season, full form, he was able to get a bunch of sacks. So I think the defensive line is the strong point of this defense.
What about the secondary? Are you concerned for the secondary?
I am a little concerned with the secondary from a youth standpoint. Because really if you are kind of more of a casual player, a casual fan, you really would only know like Antoine Winfield Jr. and maybe a Jamel Dean, but they don't have like that bona fide star guy in the cornerback position. So I would be a little concerned in that department, but I do like the potential of some of the younger guys. But I don't know who Christian Isian is. I don't know who that guy is, but hopefully a guy like a Benjamin Morrison could come in and play well for him the year one.
Right. When I look at the draft picks, after the drafting of Emeka Egbuka, they literally went all defense except the last one, which was Tez Johnson from Oregon. So they went heavy defense for the remainder of their draft except the last pick. So I like that. That lets me know that they're very they understand that they need more good defensive players on their defense. They were a good run defensive team. It's just maybe that's because of the fact that their pass defense wasn't all that great. So teams are like, hey, we're just going to pass the ball. Let's not run the ball. We're just going to pass the ball. I guess they could be middle of the pack. I'll give them that. They could be middle of the pack. You add Hassan Reddick. You still have Vita Vea. You still have some of those players that you mentioned. They could potentially be middle of the pack. I just think overall, when you look at that secondary, I'm a bit worried. Can they be respectable? Is my question. If they can be respectable, if they can be middle of the pack, if they can be top 15, maybe top 18, I like their chances. That's just how I'm looking at it. But if they can't be top 15, top 18, then that's going to be a problem because they were getting cooked last year from the passing defense. So
true.
Yeah. I want to talk about Baker Mayfield because I feel like Baker Mayfield is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. What are your thoughts on Baker Mayfield's growth, and do you think he's going to continue to play well, even though he's on his third offensive coordinator? Because you got to remember, the first one he left, he went to Carolina. He's the head coach, and then the second one went to Jacksonville. So now he's on his third offensive coordinator. Do you think he's going to play well?
I'm gonna lean yes because obviously Baker has the talent and we've seen it, and he also has a plethora of options on the offensive end. And even if he does start looking shaky in the passing game, you got Bucky Irvin and Rashad White to take the load off on the run game. So, and Mike Evans is still one of the top receivers in the league. Chris Godwin, he's going to be recovering from injury. So hopefully you expect a guy like Emeka Egbuka to come in and give you some big contributions day one, which I think he can do because he can play every position at wide receiver. Put him in the slot if he wants to, he's going to eat. Put him on the outside, he can still get it done. And then you also got young guys coming up like Jalen McMillan, who played really well down the stretch last season. So I'm not really too concerned about Baker Mayfield. And also they have a pretty decent offensive line, and they're young. So I'm not really too concerned about Baker Mayfield replicating his success from the past 2 or so years. So I'm expecting good things from Baker. I'm expecting like 30 touchdowns and maybe 12 or so picks. That's a good season for him. Okay.
Looking at Josh Grizzard, the new offensive coordinator, he comes from a good background. Miami Dolphins for a good while, and he was the passing game coordinator for the Buccaneers last year. So he's been in-house. He was the passing game coordinator. So I think he'll be fine. He comes from a good tree, Miami Dolphins. You have Mike McDonald, McDaniels, I think his name is.
Yeah,
So,
Mike McDaniels, yeah.
so he comes from a good tree. He comes from a good tree. I just think having 3 coordinators in 3 years is it's difficult.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You get a good corner to get poached up for head coaching jobs.
Right. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I trust Baker. I think he's a very underrated quarterback. He's been really good ever since he left Carolina and Cleveland. He's having a resurgent career. So when you add Emeka Ibuka alongside Mike Evans and you still have Chris Godwin coming back from an injury and you have Jalen McMillan, I like their chances a lot. And Cade Otton. He was really good. Cade Otton, he was pretty good. I don't know about his blocking, but as a receiving tight end, he was really good for them. So they have a lot of weapons. And Bucky Irvin. Bucky Irvin, how can I forget about Bucky Irvin? Bucky Irvin, I think he had 1,000 yards last year, too. He came on the scene.
Yeah, he was going crazy.
So I like the Buccaneers offense. I think they'll be fine. And yeah, let's move on to the Falcons. Move on to the Falcons real quick, man.
Oops, clicked on the wrong team.
All right, Falcons.
Falcons are interesting.
Yeah, if you want, you can share your screen and talk about.
Oh! I gotta pull it up on my phone. I don't even gotta pull it up on my computer. My computer's being a little slow.
Okay, I got you. I'll pull it up. I got it.
Okay, but I start off the Falcons. I'm not really concerned about the Falcons on the offensive end because they have weapons galore, which is great for a guy like Michael Penix, who's having his first full season as the starting QB. My whole thing is, what is Kirk Cousins going to do? Is he just going to sit there and just collect the checks, or is he going to cause a fuss because he's getting replaced by a second-year QB? I don't know what's going on with that whole thing. I thought he would have found a way to get out of there, but I guess not. I guess he wants to try to stick it out. But I'm not worried about the Falcons offense. They have a good offensive line. They got a young guy like Jake Matthews. He's been a staple for that offensive line for a few years. Chris Lindstrom as well, really good player. You got young guys like Matthew Bergeron, who's a good player. You also got on the receiving end, you got a Darnell Mooney, he was like top 10 in yards at one point in the season for them. And obviously Drake London. And then Ray McLeod is a solid slot player. And then you got Kyle Pitts, who has had a disappointing career for where he was drafted and what he was expected to become in the league. But maybe he could get a little something going with Michael Penix at the helm. And obviously you got Bijan Robinson, who was a dual threat out of that backfield. And you got another solid backup option in Tyler Algier, who I believe he had almost 1,000 yards that one year when Arthur Smith was the coach. So, you got a plethora of options on the offensive end. My main concerns come with the defensive end. They did get very active in free agency. They got a Jordan Fuller. They got a Devon Diablo, who he was a linebacker for the Raiders. They got a Morgan Fox. They got a Mike Ford. And in the defense, as we know in the draft, they drafted Jalen Walker, traded back into the first to select James Pierce Jr. Big additions for their pass rush, because last year you looked at that roster like, who was rushing the passer? I think they had Matt Judon, but he did absolutely nothing. That's why he's still a free agent out there. So I think the Falcons are moving exactly how they need to move. I do think they may need to find another corner. I'm not a big fan of D. Alfred. He was getting torched a lot when I was watching Falcons games, but AJ Terrell, good bona fide number one guy. You still got Jesse Bates. Unfortunately, you lost Cortland, not Cortland's son.
Was it Grady Jarrett?
No. That's the safety. Used to play for the Broncos. Justin Simmons.
Justin Simmons, yeah. He's still a free agent, by the way.
Yeah, for good reason. He wasn't. He's trying to. I think he's asking for a lot of money in his play last year.
Not the greatest.
He wasn't warranting the money he asking for. But yeah, I think the Falcons could be one of those teams where they're not going to be like world beaters or anything, but they'll look like a good team. As long as Michael Penix stays upright and the offense is clicking, I do believe they can win 9+ games.
They added a lot of edge rushers. Leonard Floyd, Lorenzo Carter. They have a lot of edge rushers. So they're not going to be missing a whole lot when it comes to guys off the edge. My thing is, are you comfortable with their interior defensive line? Where are you in the interior defensive line?
Oh, they lost Grady Jarrett.
Yeah, they lost. He went to the Bears. Yeah, that's a big loss.
I'm not. Yeah, honestly, their interior I'm not too enamored with personally. Hopefully, I'm not too sure about David Onyemata or whoever Kentavia Street is, or Morgan Fox. I think Morgan Fox, he played for the Chargers.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So I'm not sure how good he was, but yeah, it is a little concerning. I'm a little concerned about that, the interior presence.
Because weren't you the person that said that interior defensive line is more important than edge? That's the one that is hard to scheme against.
Yeah. Unless you got one of those top dudes like a TJ Watt or a Myles Garrett. Give me the interior guys that can cause mayhem over the edge any day.
Where are you? Like, what is your feelings about the Falcons drafting? Because they went back-to-back edge. They went Jalen Walker at 15, and they went 26. They went James Pierce Jr. Did you think that was the right moves to make? Or do you feel like the Falcons should have went edge and interior defensive line? Where are you? How do you feel about those two moves?
So listen, if you're going to be a team, you're going to be aggressive and you're going to trade up to get your guy, I'm not going to be too mad at you for doing so. We don't know what the concerns about James Pierce Jr.'s character is or anything like that. So we don't know if those are fabricated statements or even if they were even truthful. So, but the talent is undeniable. I know they say I think he might have an effort issue, like he may take plays off or something like that. But he's going to be like a rotational guy. Because I believe they still have.
They got Leonard Floyd that they signed. Yes. They have Lorenzo Carter. They have so many edge.
Yeah, they got Arnold Abikidi, who was one of the starters last year, but Jalen Walker gets the first round superiority over him. But I don't hate the draft. They also got an Xavier Watts. They drafted Xavier Watts, safety, good pick, and they also got Billy Bowman, who played at I believe Oklahoma. He was one of the most underrated guys. Like he was making plays last year, even though Oklahoma was bad as a team as a whole. Billy Bowman was out there making plays. He was really good in that slot. So I was surprised he fell as far as he did. So I think the Falcons had a really good draft. I think they had one of the better drafts in the league. Even though you gave up a little too much to trade back for James Pierce. Listen, there may be a possibility of a guy coming out next year that's as good as James Pierce Jr. And if the Falcons are expected to compete and win 9 games, they're going to be picking in that range anyway. And the only reason James Pierce fell that far was because of character concerns. He's a bona fide top 15 talent. He wasn't even supposed to get that far down. Pre-draft, people was like, oh, James Pierce, he's going top 10 or something like that. Now, hey, go get your guy. I ain't mad at him.
But with all that defensive line talent, like interior defensive line talent, don't you think it would have been wiser for them to go interior instead of James Pierce Jr., who many people think has character concerns, especially in Atlanta? Atlanta, out of all cities.
So here's the thing.
You want me the Atlanta Falcons picking him?
I think the only highly, I guess, somewhat highly rated D tackle that would have been a solid pick at that range. I think they traded up to 26 to get James Pierce Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only one that was like Tyleik Williams. I think all the other DTs was gone that people was like highly on, like the dude the Steelers drafted. He was gone.
Derek Harmon,
Derek Harmon. Walter Nolan was gone.
And then Kenneth Grant.
Yeah, Kenneth Grant. All of them was gone by the time they picked. So I mean, would you really have traded up and reached on a D tackle who probably isn't really who's not really a first round talent, or you want to get the guy that is a first round talent but had character concerns or whatever?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I know. It's just But they needed more depth on the interior defensive line.
Yeah, they do.
How are they going to be able to stop the run consistently? That's my question.
That is the $1 million question because I don't think they was very good at stopping the run last year.
They weren't. So, like, you're getting a bunch of pass rushers, get a bunch of edge rushers, but how are you going to stop the run? You need them 300-pound guys. You need them 330-pound guys to stop the run, and you don't have enough of those dudes. Talented dudes, at least.
That ball is going to be ran in that division. You got Bucky Irvin, you got Chuba Hubbard on the Panthers, you got Alvin Kamara on the Saints. So they're going to have to figure something out.
And Jalen Walker only 6'1". He's talented. Talented, but only 6'1".
20 something. He's kind of like 230 something, maybe.
Yeah, so talented guy, but 6'1".
I think what they might be trying to do is I think Jalen Walker, he can play edge as well. He could do a little bit of roaming, like play regular linebacker. So I think they're going to try to when run heavy sets, run downs. They're probably going to move him off the edge, have him play the mic or something, and try to get it because he has good run instincts when he's off ball. So I think they're going to try to use him in a run game like that. But they do need interior presence though.
So back to the offense. What do you think Michael Penix is going to look like this year? Do you think he's going to progress? He's going to get better? Where are you on Michael Penix?
I think Michael Penix Jr. will have a solid full year of starting QB. I'm not expecting anything crazy. He may only get 20 or so touchdowns. As long as he limits the turnovers and keeps the ball out of harm's way, I think they will be in a good position to make the playoffs. I'm not expecting nothing crazy. He could get a modest 22 touchdowns, and if he gets anything less than like 12 picks, sounds like a success to me as your first full year starting QB, because playing QB in the NFL is hard. And so yeah, I'm not expecting nothing too crazy. I'm not one of these unrealistic people that expect players to just go out there and light it up and have CJ Stroud, Jaden Daniel type years. Like, no, that's just not the reality of the situation. So that's what I'm expecting, a modest season from him.
Where are you when it comes to Zach Robinson and Raheem Morris as coaches? Are you confident in them, or are you a bit skeptical?
Zach, man, I think they can do good enough. I think they can do a good enough job because towards the end of the year, they started to get their groove. They started hitting their stride a little bit, and they may not have been winning a whole bunch. They were competitive and they were bringing it to teams game after game. So I expect them to build on that momentum and go out. They got to win. They got to win, man. Like, honestly, Raheem Morris has a plethora of, like, the front office is doing their job. They're doing their part. Note is doing their job, acquiring talent for you to utilize. You got to go out there and win. Point blank, period. I know you got to technically a borderline rookie QB starting for you, but at the end of the day, the owners, the GM, they don't care. Terry Fontenot, he trying to win.
Yeah,
that's a nice stadium they got. They want it filled up. They don't want to have to put artificial crowd noise.
If I remember correctly, I remember there was some skepticism towards the end of the season of Raheem Morris and his in-game adjustments. I forget what exactly happened. It may have been against the Washington game, may have been that game or some other game where something transpired and it just went totally wrong because Raheem Morris, I forget what it was, but people were comparing him to Arthur Smith, his in-game adjustments. And Zach Robinson did an amazing job with Bijan Robinson. I thought Bijan, he brought out the best of Bijan. I think year 2 of this offense be interesting. Former Rams coach. I just wonder if they can fully unlock Michael Penix in this playbook in year 2. That will let me know how this team goes, because Zach Robinson is, it's year 1 and it's a young QB, so you're not going to be able to bring out the full extent of the playbook. We're really going to see how Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson are actually good coaches or not, because Last year, you can point to, well, it's a young team, rookie QB. He only had 4 or 5 games. Kirk Cousins, he fell off. Well, now we're in year 2. So you have no excuse. This is all on you. I really don't know what to expect. I'm just going to go on the side of I believe Zach Robinson and Raheem Morris will figure things out offensively. And I think Michael Penix will get better. That's just a prediction. I haven't looked at any reports, any mini camp, OTAs. So I'm just guessing at this point. But I believe with the personnel that they have, they should play a lot better, especially in that division. So moving on, I want to go to let's go to the Panthers. Boy, oh boy. Let's see. Carolina Panthers.
The Panthers. Panthers are an interesting team.
They
really
are very
because
team. Yeah.
Bryce Young showed flashes last year, but in my opinion, he still isn't where you would want him to be for what you for the position you drafted him at. And do I feel like the Panthers did enough on the defensive end through free agency in the draft? They did spend a lot of draft capital. I mean, they did acquire some guys. They got Trayvon Mulrig from the Raiders, who's a solid free safety. They got Patrick Jones the second, Bobby Brown the third. Like, I feel like they just went out, got some Jags in free agency. Personally, I'm not seeing a bunch of standout players. Like, I'm still trying to figure out where the pass rush is going to come from outside of Derek Brown, who I believe he was hurt last year. So yeah, I'm very concerned for that defense because J.C. Horn, he's a good player. They paid him a lot of money this offseason. So the expectation is he needs to play. And we all know J.C. Horn is prone to miss games and get injured. But like they got like a Nick Skelton, I've heard of him, I forgot what school he went to though. But he's a decent prospect. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like the Panthers could have did a lot more. I like the Ted McMillan pick for the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
But
of course you do. You want him on the Cowboys.
That was my guy. But I hate them for stealing another one of my players that I wanted. But man, like I don't know, man. They got Rico Dowdle to pair with Chuba Hubbard, which I like that acquisition a lot. But I don't know. I feel like it's going to be more. Now I'll give them some credit. They was very competitive towards the end of the year, end of the season last year. I ain't gonna lie. They was the Chiefs. They had a close game with. They had a close game with the Eagles. They had a close game with who else? There's some other teams. I think they had a close game with the Bucks, I believe too. So they play competitive. They play hard. What's the head coach name? I forgot his name.
It's
Dave Canales.
Dave Canales.
Dave Canales. He gets them boys ready to play week in, week out. So I expect some type of progression. Like, I think if you win 7-8 games, that's a big improvement. And you're putting yourself in a good position to win in the future. But I don't know. I'm not going to have my expectations too high for them. I still got to see more out of Bryce Young. He had good flashes, good moments. I need consistent play for 17 weeks.
Did you like so you mentioned Ted McMillan. Did you like the round 2 and round 3 picks? Because they selected 2 edge rushers in round 2 and round 3. I don't know. Did you like those picks? I can share my screen. Draft picks right here. Here you go. So Nick Gordon out of Texas A&M.
Yeah, I heard. I heard good things about him.
Yeah. Mississippi.
I don't know who the heck that is.
So yeah, I mean, are you high on those 2 picks? Or are you just,
I like Nick Skelton, but I don't know who that other guy is. I'm gonna be honest. I ain't do no scouting. I ain't see no film on him. But Nick Skelton, yeah, I think that's a good addition for them. And he's not expected to be the starter. I think looking at the depth chart, he looks like to be the second guy. Now, I don't know if they do that whole thing where you got to earn your starter spot, but yeah, so we shall see. I feel like could have got like it's kind of hard to get like a big free agent acquisition when you play for a market like the Panthers, who have problematic ownership things like that. So
defense. So on the defensive side, what are you most concerned with?
most concerned on defense,
Yeah.
pass rush. Where is it coming from?
Right. So again, like I said, they drafted those two guys. Are they going to develop properly? Derek Brown is coming back. He's the starter on the depth chart, so it seems like he's going to be healthy week 1. What about the secondary? I mean, they have J.C. Horn, but is he going to be healthy? That's the question. Right. Is he always going to be healthy? It's always something about him. Safety position, I don't know about the safety position.
I like Morig, but that's all these. I'm not familiar with Chow Smith Wade and Damani Richards. Like, I don't know. I feel like that defense is filled with a bunch of Jags.
So it seems like to me they're gonna have to score a lot of points.
Yeah, honestly.
So the offense, you have Ted McMillan, we have Xavier Legette, we have Adam Thielen at the slot. They signed a bunch of guards in free agency last year. They gave them a bunch of money. Chuba Hubbard, really good. Rigo Dowdle, you mentioned before. They also drafted Trevor Etienne. So it seems like the running back position is pretty solid. And if Xavier Legette continues to develop, it seems like their wide receiving core is going to get a lot better. So
I got some thoughts on Xavier Legette.
What?
For the amount of gas and attention he gets, that brother is not good. As of right now, that brother Xavier Legette is not good. There's a reason they drafted Tet in the 8 slot when they had big needs on the defensive end. They could have easily got a Jalen Walker. They said, This Xavier guy, yeah, we need a little more. We need some help on the offensive end. But I do expect good things out of like guys like Jalen Coker, who was he has some good stretches down toward the end of the season. I think Jimmy Horn Jr. he's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I like Jimmy Horn Jr. too.
I'm surprised he failed that late. Like Jimmy Horn Jr. was nice at Colorado.
Yeah. So, do you think
another concern?
Yeah.
I like the offensive line for the most part, except Akeem Ekwonu. I don't know what happened from when he got drafted to now. The brother just hasn't been performing that well. Like, I thought like Akeem Ekwonu was supposed to be like this really, really elite offensive. No, haven't seen it. Not living up to the draft hype he had. Maybe, hopefully, he could, being around better dudes helps him progress his development faster. But as of right now, I'm not too confident in him.
Okay, all right.
Maybe I gotta do some research. Maybe he had a much better year 2 on film and stuff. I'll have to tap in with some Carolina fans. I might ask a Trudeau or something.
So, just to conclude, do you think Bryce Young is going to have a good year? Is he going to finally show why he's deserving of the number 1 pick?
He better, because you saw how last year they was ready to pull him for freaking Andy Dalton. I do think they'll give him a longer leash this time because they saw flashes of him last year and what he's able to do in a well-produced offense when the run game is going well. He's getting decent contributions from his receivers. So I do think they'll give him a longer leash, but I'm not expecting anything crazy from him. I think he'll just have a modest quarterback season. His first full season where the coaching and ownership and GM put their full faith into him and his talent and letting him actually develop. You can't develop a player if he messes up and you immediately pull him and bench him and stuff. So I think that what happened last year really helped him and has put him on the right track. So I do think we'll get a solid year out of Bryce Young. That is the hope. Because the talent is there. The talent is there.
All right. Well, let's move on to the last team. Let's go to the New Orleans Saints.
The Saints fans, listen. Hold on. We got beef with y'all. Because we tried to tell y'all last year, do not get too high. You beat the brakes off the Pens. You beat the brakes off the Cowboys. Both of them ended up picking top 15. Top 12. I told you not to get too high. Y'all was in our comments. We ain't no ball. We blah, blah, blah. And look at y'all. Look at y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting up here, you got Tyler Shuck starting at QB.
Could have had Shador instead of Tyler Shuck.
Could have somebody.
My gosh.
So now look at you. Look at you with your look at you with your silly your clown hat on. That this team is terrible. You hired Kellen Moore as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't saying Kellen Moore is a bum. He's a good coach in my opinion. But a head coach? Was he really the main reason the Eagles won that Super Bowl? I mean, he got the run game right, but a lot of the players was doing a lot of heavy lifting. But let's look at this depth chart. Rashid Shaheed, he's recovering from injury. I believe he'll be back probably middle of the season or so. You got Chris Olave. I really like Chris Olave. I think he's really good. Problem is the man can't stay healthy. Put him up here. He's a concussion machine, and I'm fearful for that brother. I hope he's out there every game with a Guardian cap on because he needs it. This ain't the time for trying to look cool. We need you to produce. Brandon Cooks, he's up there in age.
Yeah.
And,
he was a good dude.
He ain't his last stint with the Cowboys. He had a solid year, but other than that, it's kind of lackluster. Yeah, I mean, you drafted Kelvin Banks Jr., the tackle from Texas. I guess.
I
don't know, man. It didn't seem like that front office has misstepped the entire offseason, and the people the Saints fans are taking notice, and they're not happy about it. Defense.
Jawan Johnson. Hey.
Jawan Johnson.
Hey.
Wait, where'd you see that at?
Because the
Oh, yeah, Jawan.
Hey.
I picked him up in fantasy. I think he had maybe one good game.
Alvin Kamara. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Kendre Miller, he's not good.
Hey.
Man, this is bad.
Wow, they have Cam Jordan. Is he
old?
He's not starting?
He old.
Wow.
They gave Chase Young that money.
Wow. They got Chase Young starting over Cam Jordan. I know Chase Young had a better year. He had a bounce back year, but was it that good? Really?
I mean, the thing is, they got names on the defense. They just haven't been able to put it together. Like they got names like Chase Young. They got Cam Jordan. They got DeMario Davis, Justin Reed. They just signed in a free agency. Like they got names. Yeah, like they have names. Like people recognize these guys. They just haven't been able to put it together on that side of the ball. So. But that offense is terrible. I'm not, man, what? I wouldn't invest in a single one of these dudes in fantasy football. Not a single one. You maybe take a flyer on Chris Olave in later than the 6th round.
Maybe Rashid Shaheed, but
Kamara will probably get a lot of dump offs.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a shit show.
This offense is shocking. And I'm not a fan of the coaching staff they got either. Kellen Moore. Is Doug Newsmeyer, is that Greg Newsmeyer's father or something?
I have no clue. That's a good point. Let me check.
Brandon Staley's the defensive oh Lord. Yeah.
That's he's the father of Garrett Nussmeier.
Oh, I already see the script. They're gonna draft Greg. They're gonna draft him next year. I already see the script.
Oh my
God! Plays
for
LSU too. Louisiana could come. Oh, come on,
what?
NFL! Y'all got to get new writers.
Oh my goodness,
that is crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I got nothing to say. About this. This is terrible. Kelvin Banks at 9. Yeah.
Hold on, one second. What?
Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. I mean, Devin Neal is a nice running back. He's from Kansas, but sorry, Saints fans. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I can't give you a real honest breakdown on this one. This is going to be a lost year unless Tyler Shuck surprises some people. I don't see how this team does well at all, given the circumstances. This seems like a tank job.
It's going to be I definitely think they playing for the next pick.
Yeah, for the number 1 pick, this seems like a tank off right here. I don't see anybody. I can't recognize anybody in their top picks besides Kelvin Banks and Tyler Shuck.
Let me look at their draft.
Kevin Neal, I know Devin Neal from Kansas because
running back.
Yeah, because I played college football 25 and he played he was unstoppable against Colorado. So I know who Devin Neal is.
I know Danny Stutzman, a linebacker for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. He was pretty good. Other than that, I don't know who these people are. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Woo,
Saints,
boy.
Man, Derek Carr just ruined so much for them.
Ooh. They're cooked.
Sean Payton was smart to get up out of there when he did. He said, "Yeah, this cap space about to cook us. We ain't gonna be able to say, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm going to Denver." Yeah, the Saints are in a bad spot, man.
The fact that Alvin Kamara is still on this team all of these years, they should have been traded him like 3 years ago.
I mean, he's still a good player.
He's a good player, but
wasting
no
his talent.
point have him. It's no point. He should have been gone like 3 years ago. As soon as Sean Payton left, they should have just offloaded all the Sean Payton players.
Honestly.
Cam Jordan. Oh, who wants Cam Jordan?
Nobody now.
Yeah, nobody now. He's too old. Dude, like 35, 36.
Yeah,
dude, old as hell.
Like, who are these people? Who is Kevin Austin Jr.? Bub Means? Like, who are these people? These is Madden generated free agents.
I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say.
Trevor Penning is bad.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, man.
Like, man, I don't know, man. Like if I'm a Saints fan, like I'm really not trying to watch football.
Not at all.
What?
Nah, it's no point. It's no point.
Like,
it's no point.
Like, who are these people? Son, like Devon Gacho? Like, who is that? And he's starting. Like, I never heard of this dude.
Oh my gosh, bro. Oh man, this is why I wanted to do the NFC South first because I knew it was going to be. It's nothing really to talk about with the Saints.
Like Tyrann Mathieu, I mean, in big 2025, like he's cooked food.
Yeah, the whole defense is pretty much old.
Yeah, they got Justin Reed, he's old. Tyrann
Mathieu
Davis. Old. Cam Jordan old. Demario Davis old. Alontae Taylor, he just might be some trash. I don't know.
Oh man, you know what? On that note,
I'm depressed. I'm depressed looking at this depth chart.
Right.
Coaching staff.
Okay. On that note, let's get to the final. Who do we rank? Who do we rank in division? Who's going to win the division? So Brian, who do you have?
My pick is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they're in a better position. They made the playoffs last year. Unfortunately, they ran into Demon Jaden Daniels on a crazy run. They was in a position to win that game, which is crazy. But I think the Buccaneers repeat as division winners. Second place, I'm gonna go with the Falcons. Then I'm gonna go with the Panthers, and then obviously last place would be the Saints, which would be hilarious. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay, I think I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers as well. They have the better dudes. They probably had a better coaching as well. They have the best quarterback in their division. They have the
most
best
proven quarterback. Yeah.
So. And then I think the talent for the Buccaneers, they got Evans, they have Bucky Urban, they just drafted Meko Buka, which is crazy. Chris Godwin, he's coming back from an injury, but now he doesn't have to be relied on as the number 2. He could be potentially the number 3 because of Meko Buka. And then they have Jalen McMillan, who they drafted last year, good depth piece. Cade Otton, they got so many guys. The offensive line is pretty good. The defense is okay, middle of the pack. So I'm just gonna have to go with the Buccaneers. They just had the better dudes. They potentially had the better.
They understand. I think they understand that how to support your QB, your younger QB. Because like they could have easily just said, Jalen McMillan showed flashes in the last season. He was pretty good. Now we're just gonna roll with him and throw him in that wide receiver. They said no. We are going to get Emeka Egbuka, who has look. Emeka Egbuka, I'm surprised he's as underrated as people try to make in his draft cycle. Dog, Emeka Egbuka, he played with Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jeremiah Smith, who was a generational prospect. He still maintained relevance through all them years. The man is nice.
Really nice.
He's been a contributor since he was a freshman. You know how hard it is to get real good run as a freshman at Ohio State at wide receiver? Played all 4 years. He was a contributor in all 4 of them years.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna have Falcons to I think. Do you think the Falcons could potentially usurp the Buccaneers this year if they have a good season?
Absolutely, but the reason they probably won't is because the defense.
Yeah, and the coaching staff as well. I don't know if Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson will be better than Todd Bowles and Grizzard. So I don't know. In Carolina, there's still question marks on the offense, receiving core. We have no clue really, and defensively, it's like they still got a lot to work.
They're gonna be able to run that pill.
Yeah, and then the Saints, we already know they're lost cause. Yeah, they're a lost cause. So, anywho, seems like a repeat of last year.
Carr was like, he said, I tore my shoulder or something. All right, I'm retiring. Thanks for the money.
Hey, at least they got off of Derek Carr.
True.
But what is
the one bright spot of the offseason? We got rid of Derek Carr. Woo.
What is their other option? All right. Oh my gosh. What else? What else is there? I think that'll do it, man. Short stream will be back other weeks. We'll be giving our analysis for other teams, but we wanted to start it off, get warmed up a little bit, start off with an easy one to really talk about because
it's gonna get tricky once we get to the
NFC, to the North,
the NFC West, the AFC North, and all that. It's gonna get a little tricky.
Once we get to the North, once we get to all them other teams, it's gonna be very hard. It's gonna be them hour-long streams. Man. But for right now, we're gonna keep it light. We're gonna keep it light.
Looking forward to that NFC East round table. We gonna try to put together for y'all. We might have Jalen on for NFC West because he's a Cardinals fan. So
right. All right. Well, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, follow the socials as well, and check out our other channel. We just did a live stream on the NBA Finals, so check that out. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Courtside Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.
Salute.
All right.